Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by Bronx. This is Tarot Talk. These are Tarot Things, and I'm your host, Boogie Down Bronx, and I'm here to talk about a topic. So, you guys really liked my first video. Sorry, y'all, my hair is sticking up. I'm trying to hold it down. So, y'all really liked my first video on what was that bet? Oh, about people pleasing. So now I'm going to do this next topic that I've been thinking about all week, and I really want to talk about it. And some of you have asked me like something in regards to this before, or I've just seen people ask me things about this. So this video is going to be about how I personally balance my spiritual side with my anxiety. And just kind of like my everyday struggles, and just, you know, this is just like a vulnerable thing, just being open and talking about, you know, some tips and things that I do to help me stay grounded, because it's really hard as a spiritual worker to stay grounded. I would say most of the time I'm ungrounded, even though, like, you know, there's such expectations for spiritual workers to have it all together, so to speak, or we give a lot of energy so people think that we're just healed, and that's not the case. So to get started, I'm gonna spray some spray. This is some clearing spray. This is Palo Santo, but be on the lookout because I'm making my own sprays. Okay, that was a secret, but I am making my own sprays, and I'll be selling those at some point for cleansing and stuff like that. So yeah, how I balance anxiety and spirituality. So a little bit of an introduction to anxiety. For me, I've always been anxious, like ever since I was born. I've always had so much anxiety about everything, especially about being left alone. I always hated being alone as a child. And I don't know if that's because like Virgo energy, very anxious, or it just comes down to who I am, who my soul is as a person. But I can't remember a time where I was never anxious. And it's crazy because you wouldn't be able to tell. Nobody can ever tell. I am so calm on the outside, but on the inside, it's always like. So I think that's like maybe my Scorpio placement, Scorpio moon and rising, who keeps me with this really strong like poker face. You wouldn't know what's wrong with me. And it can work against me sometimes, because it's like, people kind of go based off what we can see. Like, we're very visual people, so if you can't tell I look sick, or you can't tell I'm anxious or struggling on the outside because my face just doesn't show it, you might not believe me. And that has been a problem for me for a long time, whereas like people are like, oh, you know, I didn't know because I wouldn't show it. So yeah, that's just kind of how I've always been, very much calm on the outside, anxious on the inside type of person. So some of you, I'm sure you can relate to that. But the first myth I want to kind of break is that spirituality is a cure. Okay, a lot of people do, well, some people promote like just using spiritual techniques to heal your anxiety. But personally, I don't feel like spirituality is a cure for anxiety. I feel like if you have been diagnosed with anxiety, I also have OCD. So if you've been diagnosed with like severe anxiety disorder, depression, you might still want to go, like, you know, some people do need to use medicine from doctors or prescribed medicine. So spirituality is not just going to fix everything. It's not just going to make the anxiety go away. You're not just going to live a very beautiful, peaceful life. It's just not, it just doesn't work like that. So people, you know, they might get disappointed if they turn to spiritual practices or spirituality feeling like everything's going to be okay. And that's not the case. You're still going to have to struggle. You're still going to have, you might even have more anxiety, if I'm honest with you, okay? Because it's a spiritual awakening. So going into that topic, spiritual awakening and the symptoms. Okay, so spiritual awakening is like an expansion of consciousness. It's an ego death, because you're kind of like seeing the world from a new perspective. You're now connected to a deeper source. You're now, you and your higher self are now channeling each other. You're now connected, where before you might have been disconnected from God, source, universe, whatever you believe in. And it's just an expansion of consciousness. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. So I wrote down a few symptoms because I didn't want to forget any. So some symptoms that you might experience with spiritual awakening is headaches, ringing in your ears, physical pains, random sharp pains, fluctuating emotions, anxieties, fears, seeing all the angel numbers, which generally means that you're connected to spirit when you start seeing those. I also did an angel number series on my Patreon if you want to check that out, where I explain all the angel numbers in depth. Chest pains, and really what this is about is it's like a clearing process, and it could be that you're having some resistance and like things are trying to leave your life, or you're purging things and you're still trying to hold on to that, and so your body kind of reflects like this signal back to you, like, no, this needs to stop, this needs to go. You're elevating and you cannot take everything that you had previously with you. So that's kind of just like a brief overview of spiritual ascension symptoms and what it's like when you're first going through your spiritual awakening. And I experienced all those things when I first felt my awakening process really happening. I feel like I've had a few of them in my life, but really my main one was what led me to this channel. So it's just like you're just understanding yourself in a whole new way, and you're seeing like yourself from a different perspective and people from different perspectives, and it's really scary. Honestly, it can feel very scary and alone, because it's like you might be on a different spiritual level than your friends, and they don't understand what you're talking about. Like, they don't get it. They don't get what you're feeling. They don't get what you're sensing, what you're seeing, and it's like you feel lonely. So with that being said, whatever is the cause of your anxiety, whether it's your spiritual awakening or you're just anxious, in my case, it's both. What do I do? Like, how do I deal with that anxiety as a spiritual worker, and what helps me? So I would say the first thing that really helps me is positive affirmations and trying to breathe. So what you tell your brain is very important, because what it is your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what you're telling it and what's real. So if you're telling it things like, you are healing, you are whole, you are healthy, you're happy, you love yourself, I love myself, like you're speaking those things like, I am safe, I am okay, I am present, your subconscious mind's going to start sending those signals to your body and making you feel relief. It's going to make you calm down. Now, if you say things in a very panicky way, or speak out loud like, oh, I hate myself, my reality is never going to change, nothing's going to happen, your subconscious mind is going to just be trying to validate those thoughts. So your brain is always looking to validate what you tell it. So if you're telling it things like all those negative things, your brain's going to look for those negative things throughout the day. So it's kind of like you're tricking your brain in a way, but it's in a way that's just a subconscious process, and it's slow. But if you're telling your brain, or you're speaking things every morning when you wake up, like, I'm going to have a great day, I'm going to be healthy, I'll be able to handle whatever comes my way, things like that, you will find that over time you're going to start believing that more, and setbacks won't feel so heavy. It won't feel so burdensome, because if you're telling yourself things like, oh, my day's going to be bad, something bad happens in your brain and you're like, see, I knew it was going to be bad. Well, that your brain was looking for validation, rather than if you're saying positive things about your day, like something good will happen today, at least one good thing, you're going to be looking for that good thing. Okay, whether it's a subconscious level or not, you're going to be looking for the good stuff. All right, so that helps me a lot every day. And breathing, when I feel nervous, just trying to really slow down my breathing. And there's a method online, I can't remember, but some of y'all might have heard of it. It's like a 4, breathe in 4, hold for 8 or 6 or something, and then let go for 4 or 10. I don't know. It's something like that. But yeah, y'all looked up the 4, 8, 6 or something with a 4. Start with a 4. Okay, look up that method, and that can help you with your breathing or breathing exercises. I'm not really good at meditation yet, but when I start practicing that, I'll do a video on that. Okay, so next thing that will help, and that helps me, social media breaks and your triggers. All right, you need to identify what your triggers are. For me, I feel like I tend to get anxious the more I'm on social media. And clearly I have a big platform. I'm always on social media, but not as much as you might think. I'm kind of just like a post and get off type of person. I don't like to do a lot of scrolling because I start to, there's just a lot of energy coming at me. Like I got I'm locked out of my Instagram right now, but usually it'd be like Instagram DMs. I got, whatever going on TikTok, Twitter, notifications, people adding me, YouTube notifications. It's a lot. Okay, so if you're an influencer especially, or you just have a lot going on social media, I think it's just a lot of energy that you could be picking up on, whether you know it or not. And sometimes you just need to close it out and go do something outside, go read a book. Reading is like a really good thing for me. I like to read books that are positive, or books that kind of like maybe I have to write in it, or like journal. But yeah, so we'll get to that part. That's another section here. But yeah, social media breaks and seeing what your triggers are. If you get triggered anxious by certain people you see or you talk to, you need to not talk to those people until you're in a better headspace, or tell somebody like, look, I can't talk right now. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm anxious, and this conversation is triggering for me. Okay, just be honest, or just notice when you're getting triggered by people's pages, or what you're seeing, what you're reading. If you're feeling like defeated in some way, or it's just making you feel down, just get off. Okay, just take a break. It doesn't have to be for a whole month, but if it's as long as you need. You'll know how long you need. Your body will tell you like, okay, I think we're ready to try again. So yeah, it'll feel natural. So again, that kind of goes into the next part, which is listening to your body. Your body is always sending you signals. There is never nothing happening for nothing. Okay, there's always a reason why your body's doing something. Whether it be headaches, whether it be fatigue, whether it be pain, whether it be, it could be something with the chakras, something spiritually. It could be your body trying to warn you about something. Especially with emotions, irritability, fear, all kind of tie into, and anger, all kind of tie into anxiety. But I know when I'm very anxious or have high stress levels, I feel very irritable. I get defensive. There's always something your body's signaling for you, or knowing when you need rest and you just need to take a time out. Your body will start to literally just shut down, and you're gonna be like, my body's not working. Well, your body's trying to help you. Okay, it's not, your body is never working against you. It's trying to get you to do something, or see something, or understand something. And before you just be like, I don't know what it's saying, just try to sit with it for a second and think about what you've been doing, or think about who you've been around, and you'll start to connect the dots. Okay, you never just want to say, I don't know, like I can't figure it out. You can, if you're still enough and you are receptive enough and open enough to whatever it is that's going to be the answer. It may not be what you want to hear, which is why you're like, I don't know. Okay, just saying. So next thing is writing and journaling. Writing is probably the biggest thing on this list for what I do and it helps me with my anxiety. Because writing it out helps, I feel like your subconscious mind and your conscious mind know what's the difference between your fears and your anxiety and what's really going on. Most of the time, anxiety comes from a lot of stuff jumbled up in here, and there's nowhere for it to go. So if you're at least talking it out, if you can't talk with somebody, write it out. It does help you to release and help you feel less boggled up. Even if you don't find a solution for that anxiety, you will feel a sense of peace, because you're able to see everything that you're anxious about, and it kind of makes it seem smaller. It makes it not seem so big and scary. Okay, so writing, it just helps you a lot to calm down, and it helps you to actually be more aware every day of your feelings and your emotions. If you feel like you're disconnected from yourself, write out how you're feeling and the fluctuations of this. It'll just help you be able to process it more. A lot of times I feel like our parents don't help us with those anxious feelings when we're younger. because they, so we don't know how to even deal with it. We don't know how to process it. So you have to learn how to deal with emotions as you get older, especially if you come from a family that didn't help you process it when you were younger. So if you didn't know how to process it when you were younger, you're probably still not going to know how to process anger, emotions, fear, anxiety, panic. You're going to try to just get over it, and you have to kind of understand it first before you can get over it. So writing, the last few things are healthy lifestyle. I've changed how I eat so much. I work out at least 4 times, 5 times a week now. It is a good thing for your anxiety because it's releasing that extra energy. And, like I said, it's just emotions that are really built up in your body and in your mind. So you want to exert it and get it out somewhere, some way. But yeah, eating better, because eating unhealthy, it does bad stuff to your body. It breaks it down. It makes you feel sleepy. It makes you feel tired, uncomfortable. And you'll see when you start eating better and then you try to go back to eating the way if you eat bad, like a lot of fast food, especially processed sugar, stuff like that, you're going to feel very, like that's how I feel. But just changing my lifestyle with my routine and eating and what I put into my body, I feel a lot better. I barely suffer from serious anxiety anymore ever since I started treating my body better. Boundaries are very important. I feel like the times where I feel the most anxious is when I have the least amount of boundaries with somebody, or I'm not telling somebody that I need some space, or I need time away, or I feel suffocated. So don't be afraid to be like, hey, let's put this on the back burner. I need some time alone. I need some space. I need to regroup. Set that boundary with somebody saying, I can't do this today. I'm not going to do this. Because when you push it, it just makes you feel really bad. All right. And then the last thing I want to stress upon is therapy. Therapy, and this kind of goes into self-care, just doing something that you really enjoy, listening to music, drawing, singing, watching a movie. The importance of taking that space, taking time. But therapy is really good. I find that it helps me to put things into perspective more. It gives me another perspective, another point of view to view things upon, because your therapist should know more than you about how to handle triggers, how to deal with anxiety. It can help you unpack things in a healthy way, or you might not have the tools or have had the tools before you went to a therapist. So if you can get a therapist, please do so you can talk it out with someone that won't judge you or doesn't know you personally. Sometimes therapy, you have to find a couple, like you have to go through a few to figure out which one you really like. I went on the self-help app it should be on your app store or Google Play, whatever you have. And I found a really amazing therapist that I connect with and I still use. So that app is kind of expensive, but sometimes they offer services outside of that app that could help you. But yeah, so those are just some ways that I balance my anxiety and my spirituality every single day. It's a process. It's not something that I've done once and I'm good to go. Like, no, I'm still human. I still struggle. I still get sad. I still deal with health issues. I have lupus. Everyday things that is just very, very difficult. But just knowing when to pull back and listening to your body are the 2 biggest things that you can do. All right, so thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what other videos you want to see me do, what other topics you want me to cover. I'm glad to do this. This is really fun. So that's it. I am at Tarot by Bronx on everything.